DD2. Right, let's have a look at your grid, shall we? For one final time for these drivers. So, as a result of the pre-final, the driver on pole position, the returning Glenn van Parijs from Belgium. And again, Bas Lammers, who took the win in the final yesterday, will start alongside on the front row. Daniel Mahacek from Austria and Mick Knowlton from the Netherlands round out row number 2. Then it is Greece and Belgium, represented by DJ Liveris in the 404 for Dams Racing Team, and Boevin Powers, Zander Triblak, the two-time reigning and defending BNL Karting Series champion in this category. Marcel Steiner from Germany and Luc Schiepers from the Netherlands, row number 4. Wout Antonissen, Jan Gussens representing an all-Belgian, row number 5, and completing the top 10. Then it is Sebastian Janczewski from Poland, Silas Litter from Denmark, Max Fleischmann and Oliver Breitenbach on row 7 for Germany. Chris Kopp and Maxim de Higsch from Belgium rounding out the top 8 rows, comprising the complete 21-strong grid in DD2 are as follows: Lasse Andresen, Brindley Kinch, Jordi Klebort, Florian Breitenbach, and last but by no means least, Jamie Billings from Great Britain. So we have 13 minutes plus an additional lap on the timer, ready to tick away the moment the red lights go out. So your top 10 is as follows: Van Parijs, Lammers, Mahacek, Knowlton, Liveris, Triblak, Steinert, Schiepers, Antonissen, and Gussens. They come round the final corner. After this, we have 2 more races of Rotax powered action. This time, DD2 is off and into the distance, into turns 1 and 2. This time, Mahacek trying to go up the inside of Bas Lammers to take P2, but this time, Triblak trying to fend off Mick Knowlton. Triblak trying to go up the inside of Mahacek through turn 4, can't get through. As the field streams their way down into turn 6 for the first time, a little bit of a move up the inside into, I think, possibly 10th position, maybe an exchange between Yanni Gussens and Sebastian Janczewski for 10th spot. But this time, Bas Lammers and Glenn van Parijs in the pre-final earlier on this afternoon were battling tooth and nail over the not just the win, but if my memory does not escape me here, they were trading fastest lap times. Oh, there was nearly a bit of a clatter into now there is a trailing left rear bumper on the back of one of the Breitenbach carts, and that is Oliver Breitenbach. So someone went in for a deep lunge, and that bumper is trading on the left rear. So that is going to be a mechanical black flag very, very quickly indeed. So that means that the 422 of Oliver Breitenbach, his race is done and his weekend is over very, very quickly indeed. It's up the inside. Oh, there's a clash. Oh, that was a clash down into turn 6. One cart nearly went 2 wheels up like ski mode in Knight Rider. But luckily enough, the driver managed to catch the cart and get it back on all 4 wheels as up the inside of Mick Knowlton goes under Triblak. Liveris not too far behind from Greece. Lammer is closing on Van Parijs, goes towards the outside of turn 12. And he's gone up the inside and taken the lead. Nicely done there. So Lammers gets ahead of Van Parijs, takes the lead after the completion of lap number 2 into turn 2. The top 6, literally line astern, Van Parijs sends it up the inside of Lammers through turn 3. Brilliant clean exchange. These two are well-seasoned, experienced individuals, and I would expect nothing less, because that is the true amount of respect between racers. And look at Lammers, he sent it up the inside. He's taken a karting page out of Daniel Ricciardo's book and sent it through turn 7. Retakes the lead. So a lead change 3 times in 5 corners as Lammers hits the front. And there's a little bit of a sort of like a little point forward from Van Parijs there, I believe, as if to say to Bas, saying, you know what, I want to battle you, mate, but let's get away from these guys behind. But Daniel Mahacek has other ideas. And Marcel Steiner is trying to close. on DJ Livres as Zander Shriblack gets hustled. Oh, now that's a loss of the lead for Baz Lammers through turn 2. And it's not just Shriblack that's gone past. Mahacek's gone through 2. Sorry, not Shriblack, Van Parijs, my apologies there. But now Lammers, this is probably the thing that he doesn't, well, I'll be completely honest, this is a situation that any driver doesn't really want to be in, but it's how you respond to having that slight disadvantage thrown in your general direction and how you respond to it. So 9 minutes and 35 seconds in this last race. Oh, up the inside goes DJ Liveris on Mick Knowlton through turn 10 to take P5. Mahacek battling away with Lammers. He's trying to go up the inside of the Austrian. He'll get the slingshot coming out of the final corner, and Lammers will put it up the inside. Or will he? No, Mahacek shuts the door firmly in the Dutchman's face. Quite forcibly, but also does it quite fairly there too. And when you have to race against ultra-competitive individuals that have travelled the globe in world karting competitions, the word that you instantly associate with Baz Lammers is respect, because he has earned his stripes in this category, in karting. That's why he's such a great ambassador for the sport, and it is a true honour and a privilege to have him here this weekend racing with us. And he's helped to put on one hell of a show. He's really ignited the DD2 class, as has Glenn Van Parijs, who's back for the season. He confirmed that with me earlier on today, having won the BNL Kickoff 2.0. But Van Parijs now starting to pull away. Gap between him and Mahacek now nearly 5/10 of a second as Lammers back up the inside of the Austrian. Mahacek tries to respond and go up the inside of turn 3. Can't get through. Shriblack not too far behind. So is Liveris. So is Knowlton. At this rate, Marcel Stein, it will make it 7 carts battling away. And then you look behind that, and then you've got Poland's Sebastian Janczewski. Liveris goes defensive on Knowlton through into turn 7. Leaders now coming through into the left at turn 9. Fastest lap of the race though so far, Mick Knowlton on lap number 5 at 54.434. As now Oliver Breitenbach in the 422 looks to have effected repairs, and that bumper is no longer trailing on the left hand side as I saw a bit earlier on. So Van Parijs, fastest lap now goes to Baz Lammers. 54.351 on lap number 6. Now on to lap number 7. Half a second separates the two leaders. A little bit further down the order. Oh, that was a brilliant move up the inside. Through into... Now that was that Jan Nigursens that might have lost out there. And that was by Luke Shapers, who went up the inside through turn 3. And then, all of a sudden, Lasse Andresen comes hurtling through and goes up the inside of the same driver at turn 4. So in 2 corners, Jan Nigursens, I think, has lost 2 positions. DJ Liveris now up into 4th place. Shriblack has also slipped behind Mick Knowlton. And now Marcel Steinert and Janczewski join the proceedings at the front of the field. And the gap now between the top 2. Oh, Lammers puts in another. Fastest lap of the race of 54.108. He's closed the gap to Glenn Van Parijs. Down to 0.341 of a second. He was faster by a 10th in Sector 1 and a 10th in Sector 2. So Lammers knowing where his strengths at this circuit lie. And there have been a lot of drivers that have raced here, both in World and European Championship competition. And Lammers is no stranger to that kind of pressure. And now he's going to put some pressure of his own onto Glenn Van Parijs. 5 minutes 50 on the clock still to go. And it is nip and tuck between the two leaders, split by a kart length. Gap now down. Oh, he's put in another fastest lap. He's gone quicker by 20 thousandths, and he's up the inside of Van Parijs. Goes Baz Lammers to take the lead. On lap number 9 of this race, 5.5 minutes on the clock. Lammers has done the first part of this job, which is to get in front. Now the next task is to keep a hold of it, or the other opportunity, if he gets it, is to run away, try and break this. But as we've seen, that Glenn van Parijs for over half of this race distance, as we now have 5 minutes pretty much on the clock remaining, I think we're going to be treated to a brilliant duel. Mano y mano. Lammers versus Van Parijs. Don't forget there are 3 other drivers behind them though. Mahacek now closing. So Lammers now puts in a 54.330. Van Parijs puts in a 54.611, but goes a bit deeper on the brakes. This is the thing about leading a race. If you are ahead, the person behind you is going to use you as a marker, a yardstick in other words. And that is what has happened with Van Parijs, and that has given Lammers the opportunity to sense out Van Parijs' style and how to get past. And let's not forget that I'm sure that there are a few tricks up the sleeve of Glenn van Parijs on those racing overalls over the years of experience in karting and also tin top motorsport, including Porsche 911s. 4 minutes to go. Lammers has now led the race for around about 2 or so minutes. He gets his head down, puts in a 54.332. Van Parijs 16 thousandths quicker on that lap. Mahacek 18 thousandths seconds to 18 thousandths of a second quicker than Lammers on that lap. But this is an absolutely relentless pace at this particular moment. 23 degrees Celsius, the hottest it's been here all day. A mild toe dip in the cold, toe dip in the hot water in comparison with 2 days ago. 3 minutes and 15. Lammers looks to have started to try and break away, but this is a case of just working at it. Not sort of like going, I'm going to go for it. That is sometimes not much of a possibility. You have to work at it. You have to keep your strategy in play. That time, Bas Lammers puts in a 54.187. Glenn van Parijs a 54.312. Mahacek now closes to just over 0.2 of a second behind the Belgian in second. As we've now had Brindley Kinch retire from the, well, he's pulled it into the pits. 2 laps off of the leaders. So at the moment, Lammers, Van Parijs, Mahacek, Liveris, Knowlton, Shrivlak, Steinert, Janchevsky, Breitenbach and Goossens round out the top 10. Lammers looking to start striding away from Glenn van Parijs. Getting into the last couple of minutes of this race, plus an additional lap, and this has been an absolutely monumental pace that everyone has been putting through. And if I'm honest with you, on the last few laps, the top 15 have been pretty much been running in the 54-second brackets, as Lammers goes to within 11 thousandths of his fastest lap time in this race alone, 54.099, and he's pulled a gap of nearly 4 tenths over Glenn van Parijs. As Mahacek now coming under fire from Liveris in the dying stages, and this is for third place. Mick Knowlton just sitting, waiting, biding his time. Well, he can't bide his time for much longer, let's be completely honest. There's less than a minute and a half on the clock. A minute and a quarter to go. Lammers now looks to possibly have nearly a 0.5 of a second advantage. 0.4. Van Parijs second. Mahacek, Liveris and Knowlton in third, fourth and fifth respectively. Running out from 11th downwards, it's Silas Ritter, Lasse Andreasen, Luke Schiepers, Max Fleischmann, Wout Antonissen, Chris Kopp, Maxim de Hirsch, and Jamie Billings, and Jordi Klebort. Oliver Breitenbach still looks to be circulating a couple of laps off the leaders. As now we go into the final 38 seconds of this race. As there is a couple of moves there, and there is a trailing bumper. Or is it? Now I'm just going to keep an eye. That bumper looks a bit diagonally poised on the left rear of the 431. And that is Florian Breitenbach. I'm not too sure. But Lammers comes across the line with just under 20 seconds to spare, and he's got the gap now to .447 ahead of Glenn van Parijs. Knowlton looking to size up Liveris for P4 in the dying stages. Right, that's it for DD2s here at karting Genk. The timer is counted down from 13 minutes to 0 on the timer. Penultimate lap. Lammers from the Netherlands. Now comes through towards the final lap of the race. Could Alexander Bentley from 308 Senior Rotax please report to the stewards immediately? 308 Alexander Bentley to the stewards immediately. Thank you. Lammers gets the last lap board. For over half the race, Glenn van Parijs was leading, but into turn 2 for the final time comes Bas Lammers. Into turn 3, now into the double left at 4 and 5. Now 6 more corners to go. The top 5 have pretty much been in their respective positions for quite a few minutes, but Lammers seizes the day in the afternoon for the final time for DD2. Through into the left at turn 9 comes the 4:45 of the Netherlands' very own Bas Lammers. Into the right-hand sweeper at 10. The Works Sodi kart driver now will close off the weekend in style with a clear conscience and a clear gap. Round turn 12, it's Bas Lammers from the Netherlands who celebrates with 2 hands off the wheel. And that's the best celebration I've seen in a very, very long time. Bas Lammers, both hands out of off the wheel, then both legs out of the cart. Brilliantly done, and great respect between him and Glenn van Parijs. So noble runner-up in this second final. But Bas Lammers, with the best celebration I've ever seen in my entire life as a commentator, takes the biscuit with that one. Wow, 4:45 from the Netherlands. Bas Lammers wins the DD2 final on day 2 of round 1 of the 2020 BNL karting series by nearly half a second ahead of Belgium's Glenn van Parijs. Daniel Mahacek in 3rd from Austria. Mick Knowlton from the Netherlands in 4th. DJ Liveris from Greece rounds out the top 5 ahead of Zander Schriblak. Florian Breitenbach in 7th position ahead of Marcel Steiner, Sebastian Janchevski. Jan Negussens in 10th ahead of Silas Ritter, Lassie Andresen. We then have Luke Schippers, Max Fleischmann, Urt Antonissen, Chris Kerp, Maxim De Hich, Jamie Billings and Jordi Kleebold actually parking it with 2 laps to go. Oliver Breitenbach and Brindley Kinch, unfortunately, did not finish the race. But the standout news from Genk is what a celebration from Bas Lammers.